This season 2 bonus episode is brought to you ad-free by 5518 Designs in Uptown Butte, America.
5518.
I mean, it's the place to be.
You know, we're partial.
It's the place we are.
Yeah, we're partial. Full transparency. That's our joint. That's our jam.
Yeah, it's our jam. But it's also a lot of other people's jam because it's a really rad place.
And you know what? One of the things that we're doing right now, aside from like our summer apparel collection and our Butte Icon collection that we're offering, like we've got this newsletter going on now that I'm actually really psyched about. It's just kind of like something that we put out from 5518, community building, new releases, I think games. We've put crossword puzzles that may or may not have.
But I got beef with the crossword.
May or may not have an answer.
Got to put the answers in. Nobody's ever gonna know. I was just making stuff up just to finish it.
Rookie mistake, but
it's okay. We're learning as we go. But the Butte Rising Times,
yes,
it's been really fun and people are digging it, and that is just straight out of 5518.
Yeah, and it's a great way to like build our brand throughout the community and tell people of all of the cool stuff that we got going on at this like community hub store that we have right in the heart of Uptown Butte. 27 North Main Street, everybody.
We got it. That's the address. You can go plug it into maps. We're correct on that one.
And if you want to go digital style, it's shop5518designs.com. But yeah, thank you to 5518 for sponsoring this episode, completely and totally ad-free.
John.
Katie K, what's happening, sis?
Well, we're back.
We are back. We're summertiming right now.
I know. And it's like pretty casual up in here. It's like a lot of flip-flop energy, which we don't get in the winter, but I just feel like there's a different vibe to having your dogs out.
You know what's fun? Like our first bonus episode, Les Cook showed up straight up flip-flops. I'm like, I'm going to grab that. I'm rolling with that.
Yeah, no, that is the energy we're bringing to summer. And also the energy we're bringing to this second bonus episode. So we've got a doozy here for everybody, which is really cool. And first of all, I love these two. They're great peeps, but like they're doing some crazy awesome stuff, right? They are Mike Handley and Maisie Sulser from RESTOR Design Build. And what these two are doing, it's so their business together, husband and wife, dynamic duo, Sonny and Cher style. They are rebuilding and rehabbing old buildings in town. So what they've most recently finished is this Fairmont Creamery building, and I can't wait to dive into some of the process of like taking a 120-year-old warehouse and making it beautiful, hip loft apartments that you walk in there and it blows your mind. Yeah.
So cool.
And how two like Montana originals, not Butte originals, but how two Montana originals wound up in Butte to kind of chase their dreams, but then breathe new dreams into this city.
Chasing Butte dreams.
Chasing Butte dreams.
Oh my God, that's a new tagline. Let's do this.
New catchphrase. Coined it. But I don't know them super well. I've met them a handful of times. They're great people, and I cannot wait to dive into their story.
Yeah, we need more of them like that in town. So.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, RESTOR Design Build, Mike and Maisie, the M&M squad. We hope you enjoy it. All right, Ben, hit us with some of that juicy juice.
Of all the places, of all the places, of all the places, why
Yeah.
The camera's rolling. Ben's rolling. We're lots of sexy in the room right now. Let's fire it up.
We're all rolling. We all got a drink.
Yeah.
We've all got scooters.
Speaking of sexy in the room,
household,
you guys, the scooter gang is damn near united right now.
I know, it's getting big.
It's happened.
Scoots and cutes.
Scoots and cutes. Okay, I do feel like we need to workshop the name.
Well, maybe perhaps
I
a little
agree.
bit, but you got to start somewhere.
No, but that's a good start.
It is a good start, but I don't feel like it paints the picture of the event.
Right.
Fair. I can't argue. Even if I try to argue with this one.
You're not going to win?
No. This is our first. Yeah, there is actually a lot of sexy in the room because we've got two guests. Katie,
It's
how
our
are we
first
going to
double.
do this? How are we going to do this?
It's our first 2-guest episode.
We're going to push Ben's limits to like edit and make sure we're not talking over
How to use
every
that degree, Ben.
everybody. Yeah. This is earning the big bucks over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is cool. Thank you. You guys actually have prompted our bonus episodes. I think I talked to you about this once upon a time because when we recorded your ad, and thanks, that's RESTOR Design and Build out of Butte, Montana.
Such a good ad.
When we recorded that, I was like, I can't wait until you finish your building, get it all dialed in. And I was thinking about timeline, like, well, next year is going to be too long. It's not going to be a new sexy project.
Right.
Like, they're not quite done yet. And I'm like, it's got to be in the summer. We've got to talk to you guys in the summer about this big Fairmont Creamery project. So then I was like, I guess bonus episodes. You're just going to force us into it.
Yeah. And it's great.
So thanks for the butt kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
This is a bunch of butt kicking.
Yeah.
Yes. So Mike Handley, Maisie Sulser. This is the first time we've had a dynamic duo of Jenny and Forrest,
Oh my God.
or Salt and Peppa.
What was your favorite one?
The-
I don't
Yeah.
think we did Jenny and Forrest.
didn't?
I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
about that.
No, you totally did in the
It's
ad.
like
Oh,
Salt
okay,
and Peppa,
good. Yeah.
the condiments and the wrappers.
Yeah. Snoop and Martha.
And Martha,
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
one was a good one. That one made me
That's
giggle.
my favorite.
Oh yeah, we were jiving that night. That was fun.
We were on one.
That's a fun commercial. So yeah, you guys are the dynamic duo. Mace, what RESTOR Design Build? You're the beautiful face behind it.
Thanks.
So can you tell us just like what you guys do, like the dynamic duo of you? What's your role versus Mike? Just give us the
yeah.
lowdown.
Well, I'm an architect, so that's my role primarily. But when we decided to go out on our own, Mike's kind of always been self-employed, more or less. I've never come from the traditional 9-to-5 family. So it was weird starting our own business, but we felt like we worked really well together, or we thought we would work really well together. So far, so good.
We'll dive into that later.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know. I think having Mike's construction knowledge makes me a better architect. So we thought, well, we'll just try it. Kind of got a slow start. We were sort of working singularly for a little while when we were in Billings. And this was around, 2018.
It was
16.
like right after we had got married.
Oh, yeah. So 2016.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of slow start, but I don't know. It's worked pretty well. I did a lot of architecture. He did building. And then when we started to set our sights on Butte more seriously, that was when it really started to come together, like what the design build would look like. We really like the design build process. I don't have to design as much up front. I can help and I can be there and we can kind of make decisions in the field, which is what I prefer. And yeah, so I try to lead the design. Mike does the construction. He has a lot of good ideas as well. And I help him when I can. So that's
Yeah.
kind of my role.
Macy's probably one of the only bags on architects in the state of Montana, and she's a female.
On the regular, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I went to MSU for architecture. And it
Oh my
just
God, I
wasn't.
can't see you doing that.
I know. Like,
Mike's
Sorry,
on the
but I-
computer, look out.
hardly ever saw my ass in that building. Like, my brain just doesn't work that way. And then I went to school, and it's always funny because people are like, "Oh, did you guys meet in college?" I'm like, no, I'm 12 years older than Macy, so I did not meet her in college.
But our mutual
So-
love of the Bobcats did help
Yes.
at some point.
But, I started out as an architect major at MSU, quickly realized that just wasn't the way my brain worked. And I grew up in a construction background family. My dad started our construction company in the 70s as like a roofing company. And then they got into like framing and siding and doing whole projects. And then it just kind of evolved from there. And after I got out of college, we formed a partnership. And construction is basically the only thing I've ever done. So
Kind of family business. You would have just kind of stepped into and just kept rolling with it.
Yeah. I mean, we were partners. My dad and I were partners for, up until basically the point my dad retired. So
Yeah.
And are you guys both from the eastern half of the state? I know you're from like
Yeah. I was born in Great Falls. My parents met at they actually met on a blind date, but they kind of got together at College of Great Falls. They both attended that back in the day, and then married pretty early. Like had me like a year after they got married. My brother like 14 months later, and after that we moved to Billings for a little bit. Actually, correction, we moved to the Glasgow Air Force Base because back then Glasgow had a B-52 base. And my mom, that's how she got to Montana because her dad was a colonel in the Air Force. And he was like the base commander up there. And that's what brought her to, she's kind of an Air Force brat. She lived all over, little grade school pictures in Hawaii or South Carolina or whatever. So that's how they kind of met and stuff. But like I lived in, up there, Billings for a little while when I was a kid, moved to the northeastern Montana up by Glasgow. I went to high school called Nashua.
Are you the Porcupines?
The Porcupines.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow,
Wow,
there
I
it
dug
is.
deep in the file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were the Quillum Porkies was like the chant for basketball. So,
Nice.
but then after high school, went to college at MSU, and then, my dad and I, we built things over the entire state of Montana. We've been everywhere, so.
Yeah. I primarily grew up in Billings. I was born in Sydney, which is near Fairview, is where we lived. And then when I was 5, we moved to Billings. So I'm pretty much a Billings kid.
Yeah.
And then Bozeman. So, yeah.
And so when you guys started to, let's just say, hook up, like business-wise, Katie, get your mind on the gutter.
Never.
So when you guys partnered up, then kind of what happened there? Like you've got your niches, you've got your HGTV show. Just kidding. You should though.
Oh my God, we could sell this.
That's what I'm talking about. This is
Building
never,
Butte.
Ever want to be on something like that. I just wouldn't.
You could, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like to just do the things that I do. And, when they did that beautification show in Butte, actually on HGTV, there was a little bit of like, we looked at each other, was like, who the hell are these people? And what are they doing? And they had the one pilot episode, it didn't get picked up, and all of the stuff. They were like, I worked over around the Bozeman area a lot. And I'm just like, everything they're doing is in Bozeman.
Yeah.
Well,
We just felt like Butte is just like, why just do like a house? Like, yeah, there's lots of cool houses, but there's just a lot of really cool commercial properties here. Not that that's really, it's a home and garden channel, but I don't know. I just think there's a different opportunity. So we were just a little underwhelmed by, it was just kind of felt like, meh. I think if we were to actually do like an HGTV type of show, we joked about like some kind of warehouse show. What was it called?
Instead of house hunters, we call it warehouse hunters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Because like that's what, as from an architectural standpoint, I'm a lot more drawn to existing buildings and warehouse type structures. They lend themselves to a lot of repurposing, and there's just so many that I don't know. Butte has nothing but buildings.
Yeah. And they
to
need
do.
love.
Yeah.
The
They
houses
need
are
love.
getting a lot of love, which is great,
Yes.
and they're a little easier to
That's-
digest for
yes.
like a person. But
Yeah.
these bigger buildings are really overwhelming. So
Yeah.
I think that would be our hook, is like more of a commercial.
So how did you get to Butte?
Well,
a lot of stories start like that. And then the vortex kicked in, and we're just still here.
Yeah, we were picked
my
up by
first
aliens.
memories of Butte, I had an uncle who went to tech in, like the late 90s, early 2000s. And we came and visited him, and it was still pretty lonely. Butte was pretty lonely then. And I just remember it feeling very like ghost-like. Like everything just felt haunted to me. I was probably 10 or 11 at the time. And I don't know, but it left an impression because of the head frames, and I've always liked history ever since I was a little kid. And so that was just kind of there. And my uncle and I are pretty close. He's only 6 years older than me. So he would write to me and tell me about Butte and like what he was doing. And I don't know, I just kind of found it fascinating. And then when I was in college at Bozeman, we had a project my second year that was at the original head frame, now has been developed into something, but our task was to turn it into community center. And so we came to Butte, I don't know, like once a week for a few weeks or however long that project took. And I I don't know. I just kind of fell in love with it every time we came and found something new and interesting. And I don't know, it was just kind of always there. And I was like, man, there's just a lot of opportunity here, even in, when I was a kid in college. And then when Mike and I got together, I don't think you'd really been to Butte a whole lot. You tell the story
No, not
about
too many.
taking your
Actually,
test here,
fun
but-
fact, I in high school, I don't know if kids even do this anymore, but there's a test called the ASVAB. And
yeah.
it kind of, it's an overall test that kind of, I feel like it gauges more like common sense and some other things as opposed to like learned knowledge. And I took the ASVAB and I scored really high on it. And then the Navy paid for me to take the ACT. And I took the ACT in the basement of the Finland in like 1987 or something like that. And my mom and I drove over to Butte, and I'm a Highline kid at that time. I'm like, where in the hell are we going?
Yeah, that's
And we
far.
pull into Butte, and I'm like, where in the hell are we? Like, what is this town? And at that time, that was probably like the worst point in Butte's history, probably. I mean,
Real close to
like the mid to late 80s, it was just like everything was just super depressed. And I just remember being in that like armed forces, like center in the basement of the Finland. And I was just like, okay. So I took the ACT there. I didn't probably go to Butte again until Maisie and I, years later, came to St. Patrick's Day here.
Yeah, I was going to say, so like fast forward, like probably 2012. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
It was.
Probably, it was, no, yeah.
Well,
2011
ish.
or so.
Doesn't really matter.
I'd say.
But we came and then we had started dating, and I don't know, we just were kind of serious pretty soon. And so I don't know, I think he really liked it. And then we started thinking about what we would do in Billings. We tried some projects in Billings. Things just weren't working out. And we're like, man, the real estate in Butte, like you can't really beat the price at the time. So
Yeah.
we're like, let's try that. And so it was 2017 when we bought our building that we've redeveloped now. And I don't know, there was just a lot of things we could do here that we couldn't do anywhere else.
Yeah.
At the scale we wanted to
Because
do it.
we had actually entered into a buy-sell agreement on a building on Minnesota Avenue in Billings that was right next to like the field house, and
Oh, yeah.
it was on the end of that. And we were going to develop that into like shotgun kind of condos. And a lot of that land on railroad tracks around the country, actually, they used to incentivize railroads to come through towns by giving the land to the railroad on both sides of the tracks. So there's very few buildings in downtown Billings that they actually own the land. Like you have to contract with either Montana Rail Link or BNSF or whoever, and you can own the building, but you have to get a land lease through these guys. And when we contracted to buy this building, BNSF denied us a change of use for the building from commercial to residential. And it's the first time they'd ever done that, in their history.
Yeah.
Because BNSF has a huge like real estate arm. They own real estate. They do all this stuff. And they denied us a change of use permit. And that we just were like, that's like the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
So let's go someplace where we can pay less money for a building that's a cooler building
Yeah.
you
Just
know,
more opportunity to.
and just more
things.
opportunity. Because I grew up in a, very traditional construction type background. My dad and I built new build stuff forever. Hardly ever did remodels. And then I had actually my ex-wife and I had bought one of the Yagan mansions in downtown Billings. It was on the south side. And that kind of spurred my interest in like renovating and rehabbing an old building. And I just got into it and I just really loved it. And after that,
Yeah, I'm glad I found you in your rehab era, not so much your new build
whoa,
era.
that sounds weird. Like, you're like, I got you fresh out of rehab.
Hey, whatever.
It's really interesting. There's a couple points that stuck out to me while you guys were talking. For one, when you came to Butte, there was just something for both of you. There was just kind of something that planted a seed here. And then down the road, for whatever reason, that seed came to fruition and you made it a point to get back here in some form. Like it was just, because Butte is interesting.
Yeah, you gotta
Like
want to
it's-
be here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's
And
gotta
I
be
think
something.
interesting might be
Yeah.
the best word for it.
Yeah.
So that's great. And then meanwhile, you're trying to do your thing in Billings and you're starting to hit some challenges in the processes, and you've got visions for a building. I'm sure like that was just kind of a kick in the gut. And you're
Oh
like,
yeah, it happened a couple times too.
Really?
The first round was a building that the city owned. I approached the city. I was like, hey, can we enter into a buy-sell, whatever? Are you interested in holding on to this building? And they weren't, but they had to go to a public process. And so that's where it got a little messy. There was a couple organization, or a person and then an organization that came in, and we lost out on the opportunity to buy this building, which no one was interested in until I was. So that was really frustrating for me and for us. And then we moved on to this other one, and then we're like, okay, I guess, third times. And we cold called a few people, and there was some other stuff, but it just wasn't happening. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think you probably instigated, like, let's look in Butte.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little more practical.
And in the meantime, like we kept coming over here more and more, and we started making some decent friends over here, and we would spend more and more time over here. And the more time we came over here, we actually just loved coming over here,
And it just felt like people were willing to kind of like bend over backwards to get us here, and that felt nice. Like, and we saw a need for what we could bring here that wasn't really here at the time, in the way we were doing it and the way we were excited about it. And yeah, to your point, I mean, there's just, I've only felt like at home in a couple places, like truly at home in a couple places in Montana. I mean, I love our state, but Flathead, my grandparents had a place there. That feels like home to me. And then I had that same feeling here. So I don't know. It just doesn't really go away. And we just both felt that way, which was nice. So that's kind of what.
That's so fun, Katie, because that's like a thread that we have throughout all these conversations and guests that we have is like, I don't think there's a word in the English language that like what you're trying to describe like feels like home. I'm sure Danish has that word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I'm sure it does.
whatever
Swedish,
that
I don't know what
is,
it
like
is.
that's such a cool inflection point, I think.
There's probably a couch at IKEA that has like a name
Called
that's what it
That's
is.
the name of a couch. Yeah, you're spot on.
Well, and after we first officially moved here and we lived in Metals, the Metals Bank building, when we first moved here, I got reached out on Facebook by, I think their last name was, it's going to bug me. I'm going to have to look at my messages.
I think it was Driscoll.
Driscoll. Yeah, there's a gal, and I believe she's a cousin, and her family lives here, and we just haven't, it's terrible. We haven't had a chance to meet up, but she was talking about family, and we have a history in Butte. She mentioned a few things. So also to me, that felt like validating to how I was feeling. I was like, I've actually got some family roots here. I think one of our relatives was maybe like one of those boxers, like in the bars, like that you hear about. So I don't know. I need to like delve into that a little bit more, but I just thought that was really fascinating. And we do have some history in the western part of the state. So, living in the eastern part of the state just kind of, I don't know, just was one of those things that felt right.
And your grandpa Sid had spent a lot of time over there.
Yeah, my grandpa always had stories about Butte because he'd come down from Great Falls and he'd go to like where I don't know what they're calling it now, but where Sin's Bar was. He would talk about how his aunt would send him with like a jug to go get like 25-cent fill up a beer, and he was like 8 years old. I'm like, okay, cool. Like that sounds about right.
That's very
We need
beautiful.
to get back to our roots.
Yeah.
And he would light up when he talked about it. And I mean, he passed away before we moved here, so I didn't really get a chance to talk to him about it. But I don't know. I think he'd approve.
Yeah. So you guys are tipped off on Butte. You can see opportunities. There's nothing but giant warehouses that are empty here for the most part.
Right. I mean, big buildings of
And
all
so
kinds.
just like what a glorious intersection of what you do, what you can see here.
Yeah.
Then is at that point, did you buy this Fairmont Creamery? How did you get tipped off on that? And kind of explain the history of this building. It's a really cool building.
Well, when we started seriously looking, after we got denied the change of use on the building in downtown Billings, we were like, okay, we're going to seriously start looking at Butte. And Mike McLeod, bless him, he took us to probably at least 20 buildings. And
some fourplex, triplex.
Yeah, fourplexes, like, for Christ's sakes, like, if you could go back in time, like,
Not that far, but yeah.
we could have bought 20 fourplexes for like $40,000,
Yeah, not even that long ago.
Yeah,
No,
but
not
we
that
were
long
looking
ago.
for something very specific because we were like, if we're going to buy a building, it's going to be a building that we're going to work on, but we're going to actually live in it as well. So it had to meet certain parameters for us. And we looked at all these buildings, and finally the Fairmont Creamery building, we looked at 3 different times. And we actually entered into like a negotiation on a different building. We were just too far apart on price and other things. And we're like, well, that's not going to work. And so after a whirlwind back and forth, offer, counter offer.
God, that part of the process is
Which
Yeah.
is crazy because we're talking like it was listed for like $67,000 or something, which is just crazy,
Yeah.
right?
massive building.
Yeah.
And I think we ended up at like maybe 60.
I
but
think,
like
I think we went from like 69
trying to haggle, I'm like,
to like
man.
57,000, but it was literally like 5 different offers and counter offers, and we're like
Now you're
Like,
haggling
fine.
over like $1,000. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
In this
not for
building,
them.
for people who aren't familiar, this is like a 3-story, like old, like dairy warehouse,
Yeah,
cold
yeah.
storage,
Yeah.
over in the warehouse district on the east side of town.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I think you most eloquently describe it as baby shit brown.
Yeah, the color, like, all I know is that paint was on sale. Like,
There's
when
a
they
couple
painted that
buildings
thing.
in town that same color.
Yeah.
or have been. They've been painted.
Yeah.
So
but-
this is a massive building you got for $60,000, like nothing.
yeah.
Right.
And you wrote a personal check for it, I'm sure.
We had a little help. We have always creative financials.
No, we
when
were
come to
beg, stealing,
purchases,
and borrowing
but-
to get to this thing
Mm-hmm.
to the point. And I will give Butte and their city county government credit because, as Billings is great too. Don't get me wrong; they have like a great TIF and they'll help you out with a lot of stuff. But like Butte, they'll kind of bend over backwards to make things happen for you because Karen Burns with the URA, we're like, Karen, we're like this close to this project. We need a little bit of like a gap funding, and she literally, like, I'll be right back. She had like a account that she could pull some funds out of to get us some gap funding. And that just kind of pushed us over the top to get us to the point where we could buy this building. So,
And that was all of a sudden encouraging.
Yeah.
Right. So, because I'm still trying to like lay the context of like Billings, great, feels like home. That's where you've lived and started to build this thing together. But like, it didn't quite like circle in a square
Yeah.
hole sort of a thing. And then you come here and like, it's a different circumstance. It's a different situation. You've got people that are supporting you. That's got to feel good.
yeah.
Yeah, and we just were like, this is what we're doing. We're not gonna like give up on it. And I'm of the mind, we've had a few things in our life where it's like, well, that did not go how I thought, but I'm not gonna take no from an answer, and we're gonna keep finding a way. It's not gonna maybe look like what we thought, but we'll get there. And we've managed to do that quite a bit. And so I just think that felt very Butte too. Like when you come up against something that's a challenge and people are telling you no, like you turn to your community and they help you, and it's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. So that felt really good. And up to that point too, we'd been here quite a bit. I mean, I think we'd met you guys maybe at that point, you and Cassie.
Yeah, you already had the building at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember you showing it to us. Dude, it was I don't know who the visionary is between the two of you, but like
No.
yeah, Maisie raised her hand.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
Where is it?
It's on South Arizona Street.
Okay.
Like across from
Okay.
S.J. Perry, block north of Casa Grande's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, near Butte High-ish. that
Yeah.
kind of-
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Jimmy
But yeah, it's baby shit
John's.
brown, so you can't
Yeah.
miss it.
Great.
Yeah, so I remember walking in there and it was just like there was this fire burnt half of it. And so like half the building is just like
Charred.
a fire hazard or whatever. And then there's like this massive equipment on the top floor you showed me. I remember going up there and not just like this was like the elevator hoist or something.
Yeah. So the building was built 1912-ish or so. And it had started as a different building right when it was built. And then it quickly became a cold storage for a dairy for the Fairmont Creamery Company. And then that kind of lasted not very long as well. And then it became like produce cold storage. And then it just became like storage. And then the fire happened, I believe it was in the 80s. And then basically that building sat vacant for like
Since that
40
time.
years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
Someone put a new roof on it.
yeah,
New
nice.
windows.
so at least when
Yeah.
when the fire happened, they had replaced the windows, rebuilt the roof, put like a nice white membrane roof on it and stuff. So it was a viable shell that we could kind of just work on and stuff. But for us, it was just like it was daunting a little bit.
Dear God, yeah.
Well, yeah.
But like, I mean, I've done construction my whole life, and it wasn't like something that I wasn't comfortable working on. But
And as an architect in Billings, I worked on my first job, I worked on a lot of warehouse type conversions and seen some pretty crazy things. So this wasn't by any means the worst.
No.
And the structure was pretty sound. We did a lot of checking with that. There's certain things you just learn to look for, and we felt pretty rock solid about this, despite it's heavy timber. So they tried to burn it down once. We're like, I feel good about
I also
coming in
disagree
after.
with everything that you just said. Like, it was not viable. It was burnt. It was like
You're a lot of our family members
everything
right now.
was caving in. There was cork walls everywhere. I was just like, I don't know what they're doing.
Right.
God bless you for your work.
Half the first floor was like missing because the people that we bought it from had visions of a brewery for a few years that never happened. So half the first floor was gone. We rebuilt that. So it's been a labor of love for sure, but we've mostly enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah.
And you've got how many condos in it?
Well, the original plan was like a lot more, but we ended up with 5.
Okay. Was
Yeah.
that the original plan that you went
Well, the
into?
original plan is
close.
like we were going to do like 1 bed, 1 baths and have them as rentals.
Yeah, we were going to keep the whole building as
Yeah,
rental.
we were going to keep the whole building as rentals. And we quickly figured out that it's like, this isn't going to be a viable
We couldn't finance
option
it.
because, you know, I've been self-employed my whole life. We are self-employed. We're married to each other. We have 2 businesses, and financing is just tricky, right? You know, to get stuff like that done. So we quickly kind of pivoted to condos, and we're going to sell these things. So then we were at an iteration. We're like, maybe we'll do 1 bedrooms on the second floor, 2 bedrooms on the top floor. The top floor 2 bedrooms were just like they sold, you know, in pre-construction.
Yeah, and so partway through, we changed. We were like, well, let's just do the
Let's
second
just
floor
all
the
of them
same
like
way.
2 bedroom, 1 bath units, and then we sold. We listed 3 to sell, and we sold those 3 pretty quickly, and then we kept 1 on the second floor, and then we lived on the first floor. And we have like a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom unit that we live in. So the one thing that we have going for us is that like she's an architect, I'm a contractor. We can build a lot of our sweat equity into a project, and that counts as like an actual cash contribution to like a lending institution. So, I mean, it probably took us 2 years to get financing. Like every bank in the world, no.
Well, and when we first bought the building, we're like, let's put a whole package together. We'll go to a bank, see if we can finance the purchase and the remodel.
Yeah.
And we went to a couple of banks, and here's how the market's changed too, because we bought it for $56,000. They would only, with our plan, which had a few more units than it does now, he's like, it may be appraised for like $400,000. And we're like, no.
With finished units?
Yeah. And I'm like, that's insane. Like, what are you even talking about? And so I was like, well, screw it. We'll just buy the building and we'll figure it out. And I was like, we can tote the note on the building for as long as we need to, because property taxes weren't bad. The payment was a couple $100 a month, whatever. And so now fast forward to all the time we took, like we ended up having an appraisal of the whole project with less units appraised for like 1.4 million as an appraisal. So just that little bit of time and the fact that we're going to pre-sell them, things just changed. But I don't know, the timing just works the way it works. But it's just in that short amount of years, how much things have changed from that standpoint. It was kind of amazing. So yeah,
Man.
Oh, that's cool.
I know. I'm like, and we've found an old college buddy of Mike's that was willing to like work with us and look at things creatively, and that's where we ended up at.
Yeah, I mean, they were willing to like lend on the project based on the actual cash value of the project, and a percentage of that is what they would give us. And it helped having like signed buy-sell contracts for the units too. So
The financial side of things, that can't be easy, and neither of you guys are bankers.
I'm
Or
the
like-
farthest away from a banker you've ever met.
Like, is that something you just picked up out of necessity throughout projects, or do you have some sort of person in your back pocket that I should be talking to as well?
No, it's a lot of trial and error. And honestly, like my little stint, we were talking earlier about working for Downtown Billings. We were 2 new people taking over the organization from people who had led it for like 20 years. And so we had to go through all the financials. So I kind of got a crash course in like all that kind of stuff, like QuickBooks, accounting, to like what buildings do we own and how are we financing these and different things like that. Plus working with other people that were trying to get grants. I'm also that person now. So kind of seeing how they finance things, like, again, you just can't take no for an answer. There's going to be somebody. You just have to keep working it. And I don't know. There's no one way to do it. It's just you got to you got to just think outside the box. I Googled a lot of like, what are people doing when they're trying to buy stuff unconventionally or build something without a bank? Like, what else do we have? So there's like venture capitalists and people that have these funds. You just have to tap into your old college buddies. I don't know.
We
like
bootstrapped the shit out of that thing. And I mean,
maybe have a parent or something co-sign a loan here or there. Like, there's just all that stuff that you just don't think about.
Yeah.
But you just have to keep trying.
But you got to have a vision first to talk to people
to
about.
sell a vision. Yeah. And that really helped that we had the plans. We had people that were interested. Like what we did with that building isn't necessarily what you see a lot of in Butte, I don't think, or I haven't seen. But there's more of that could happen. That's like a true warehouse conversion. The other things that have happened have been usually like a hotel that's being converted into something else or boarding house or whatever. So it's like a little bit different of a vibe. But I just like the warehouse conversion. So that's another challenge is, you're taking a warehouse that was commercial and you're turning it into a total new thing. So that's weird for banks too. So again, we had to get creative.
Sure.
Yeah.
What, like, I'm just in my head, I'm trying to wrap my mind around how much actual like work that took. I got nothing.
Like when it gets to a certain point, like one of the appealing parts of that building was it was pretty much just a rectangle that didn't have a whole bunch to it to do, or so I thought, until I started doing demolition on the second floor. And again, you had mentioned like the elevator hoist. The original Otis elevator was a wooden elevator in there. And it was, of course, on the top floor. So there was a couple options. Like John McKee from Headframe, we got to be pretty good friends with him over the years. And he was like,
great dude.
I'll rent a crane if you can peel back the roof and we'll just crane it out of there in one piece. And I really entertained that for a little while.
That does sound like a sexy
Because it's like,
idea.
oh, you know what? Maybe we
John's
can make
good
that
at
happen.
those.
You could watch it.
But then I was just
Right?
like, hell no. So
And I was like, that's not going to happen.
So
I've
I
had
ended up
nightmares
just
now. We're
like,
not doing that.
I ended up just looking at that thing, and there's a lot of components on it that you can disassemble with wrenches and
that's true.
like 40 tubes, like cans of WD-40 to loosen all the
bathe it
bolts
in
and nuts
WD-40.
off and stuff.
Yeah.
And we took every piece of that thing apart, cut it into pieces with saws and sawzalls, and just hauled it down the stairs and took it to Pacific and recycled it.
I think we had what did we end up with? Like maybe 4,000?
It was about 4,000 pounds.
Oh my God.
When
Taking
all
it
said and
down
done.
2 flights of stairs.
2 flights of stairs,
2.5
just getting it out in
flights of stairs.
pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was hands down the shittiest part of that project.
Yeah. And that's on a third floor. You're
Third
not
floor.
just like
Oh my
throwing it
God.
out the
Yeah.
window and it lands in the garbage.
Yeah, and originally we had the whole elevator shaft was open. So I have a cousin who's an engineer, and he's like, well, maybe we could rig up something in the basement and like attach it and like boom it down. And at a certain point, that wasn't happening. And I'm like, we got to get moving. So then it was like, it's up there. We'll just worry about it later. And then the point came where we had to worry about it. So,
Buy
Yeah.
the old tube slide from Fairmont Hot Springs.
right?
Yeah,
Like we've
so
slipped
dumb.
things out windows before, but this was a little different. So yeah, that was the biggest challenge. I think you were glad when that was over.
Yeah,
Took a long
and
time.
there's a bit more demo and stuff, but like when you get to a project to the point where you just got literally the 4 exterior walls and you start building it back up again, then that's kind of like
That's nice.
more of my wheelhouse. Like that's kind of stuff I like to do. And it just felt like it was a long time coming to get to that point.
Yeah.
So
Well, it had to have been such a grind, right? So what I'm curious about is like when you woke up in the morning and you're staring at this behemoth of a building and all of the things that has to happen, like how did you get out of bed? Like where did that come from?
well, it's
Slowly,
an
yeah,
interesting
slowly,
situation.
Well,
when, like,
Advil and
because what we did first is like we knew that we were going to move to Butte, and then of course COVID happened, and then like things were going on, and we're like, this sounds like a really good time for us to make the transition and get over there. And like Maisie said, we found a condo in Meadows that we lived in for a while, and the main goal of this building is like we're going to renovate the whole first floor is going to be our unit. So that's what we did first.
Mm-hmm.
We were working on other projects as well. So you're doing all that shit in your spare time. Like go work on this to pay the bills, and you're doing all this stuff to get your place ready to live in. So then you're actually living in the building.
I can see that being motivating because it's for you.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah. So once you're in there, it's a very unique situation. I've never had a project in my life where I literally wake up in the morning, make a cup of coffee, scratch my ass, and walk upstairs and start working.
Yeah.
In that order.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. In that order.
And so in some regards, like it's nice, but others you do have to motivate yourself because you're like, I mean, do I have to? It's for me. Like, I don't know. But once we
Yeah.
started like having deadlines and things, like then things got moving. But yeah, the commute's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really nice.
It's probably like kind of like your commute. Just wander on over here.
Just wander off across the hall. Yeah. Yeah. It's not bad.
But no, I mean, some of that stuff, like there was days where we were glad we had other little projects to fill because demo kind of gets long and so dirty. I mean, our shower was disgusting.
Yeah.
A lot of brick dust, a lot of metal dust, like a lot of pigeon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not pigeon. We only found one dead pigeon, I guess.
Yeah. It was a
There was
skeletal pigeon.
other
so.
things that they leave behind.
And that was an interesting thing too. Like I thought I'd find more stuff.
Yeah.
I was
did demo.
curious about that.
Like I didn't find that much cool shit when I was like taking things apart.
Yeah.
Have you ever in the past?
Yeah, I've actually on some projects I have, like over the years. But like when you look at a building like that and you're like, oh man,
There's gotta be
what's
so
going
much
to be in
stuff
there?
in the walls.
Yeah.
And I would find shit like ice cream containers in the floor. Like that's it.
It's nothing to get
like literally
excited
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, way less dead animals too. Like I thought I'd find like a ton of mice and things like that. Nope.
I think they just don't live here.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
They can't survive it.
Right. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough for
And
a
40 below stuff on them mice.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
And so how long was the process from basically you started pounding nails into walls or whatever started that project? And then
I
until,
shoot
like,
nails. I don't pound them.
Yeah, we'd still be working if we found
Oh
nails.
my
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, how long was the process from start to finish?
Well, we did it in phases. So phase one was like not quite a year, probably. We were kind of full-time living in that first floor, right, like spring of 2022,
Yeah.
right? And then took us 2 years to finance. So then we didn't gear up on phase two until, well, really truly with money, like June of last year. And then all of our condos were sold and occupied by the end of February. So like we had a quick turnaround on those units.
Yeah, it was like by the time we actually did the finance construction part, like where it was like all the demo is done, the building is prepped, is ready to go. It was about 8-9 months of actual construction.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
That seems fast.
Because he shoots nails.
Yeah, because you're shooting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like because I mean we do the majority of the work. We have our subcontractors, but you know we're kind of there every day doing stuff. So I think having it just be the two of us for a lot of it, we moved pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And how do you guys stay married together through this whole project?
We have our own TVs and our
Yeah,
own
yeah.
rooms to hang out in,
For
but
sure.
That's great.
yes.
that helps.
It's
But
just
no, we're
it's a piece
together
of
a
advice
lot.
for everyone, no matter who you work with.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, but we are together a lot. I
We
don't
are
know.
together an abnormal amount of time for a married couple because like most married couples, and you two can probably,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Ben's shaking his head.
yeah.
It's It's
Ben-
abnormal.
Ben's got a big glass of whiskey nodding his head right now. But you know, it's one thing to be married to somebody. It's another thing to be married to that person and be business partners with them. And we spend virtually almost every single hour of every day together. And one thing is like you really have to love and care about that person. And you have to have the ability to resolve conflict in an easy way. You know, be comfortable with that. So,
Do you guys compartmentalize things like at 8 a.m. in the morning? Like it's business Mike now, or and
it's never
Mike,
business,
the
Mike,
business.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably not as. I mean, I've had other friends, couples that are married that work together, and they're like, "Well, we have our business hat on now and our relationship hat," and I don't know. I mean, we do that a little bit. I think, I don't know. Sometimes you have to be like, "We're not talking about this right now." I probably am worse about not talking about stuff than he is, but I don't know. It just kind of works. I'm not really sure. I don't know if it's our age difference or who you are and who I am, because I'm probably a little bit more of a control freak and he's a little more easygoing, a little averse to to like certain things. So I don't know if that helps. I just think our personality is just work. But I suppose there's a little bit of compartmentalizing. It's probably more so to do our personality differences.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know, because people think we're nuts all the time, but it works for us. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on the reason why. I don't know if you can, but
no, I mean, I was previously married for like 12 years and I have a son. And coming from like a longer relationship, having that end and getting into a new relationship, I think it gives you the ability to like really focus on like, if I'm going to be in a relationship again, it's going to be exactly what I want, you know? And that's what I found with Maisie. So, I mean, we recognized a long time ago that we got along well. We had the ability to work together. And, you know, my dad and I worked for an architect out of Livingston for like 9 years. That's all we did. And he did all design build. And I'm just like, if you're an architect and you have the ability to do stuff like this, why wouldn't you? You know, and like self-employed, ideally in our head, we would truly be self-employed to the point where we don't do projects for other people. We only do projects for ourselves. So that's kind of what we're trying to set ourselves up with, gearing towards the future. Like, you know, since we moved to Butte, we got this building. It's mostly done. Our next project, we bought the old Anaconda Company Pay Office buildings on North Main, and that's our next project. And that one we're super excited about. But you know, when you do projects like this and it's only two people, basically, like everybody's like, what's your crew? And I'm like, me and her. She's got a set of bags and she knows how to do stuff. And, you know, when it's just the two of you, like I found long time ago, like you just cannot bite off more than you can chew in construction. Like you have to take a project one at a time. You know, getting people pissed off if you don't. So that's kind of where we're at. We're like, you know, we can take little small side projects to help people out and stuff. But for the most part, we're just going to keep trying to like find a building, get a plan for that building, do that building, and then move on to the next one.
Yeah. And it's getting a little more challenging here because real estate prices have changed quite a bit. But we'll see. We'll see where it takes us. But we are excited about the next couple buildings we've got. So
I do know that you guys are on the Dust to Dazzle tour. Or not you guys, the building, the Fairmont Creamery. And so
I'm Dust, she's Dazzle.
Razzle dazzle.
Oh, that's great.
It's like shake and bake.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of a cool honor, right? For like showing off your work, like pre-work to post-work. Can you explain? Because you guys were on the dust portion of it, and now you're on the dazzle portion? Or how does that work?
When we did it the first time in 2022, our main floor was pretty much done. So people could kind of see what we were envisioning. And then, yes, the second and third floor were pretty dusty. So it'll be cool to have everybody see it. We've had, you know, some friends and family see what we've done so far. And then obviously the people that have bought from us are so far so good. They seem really happy with their purchases. So that's been nice. But yeah, it's cool. I think it's a good way for people to see what can be done, especially if they're on the tour before. They can kind of see what it was and where it's at. So it's kind of a full circle moment in that regard. And yeah, I mean, people see it, they get excited. We've gotten some work from the last one. I mean, people approached us wanting to do projects, so it's a nice way to work with people, and you know, some like-minded people have come from that too. So it's been good. We're excited to have everyone see the full project this time.
Yeah.
What's the organization that puts that on?
Butte CPR, Citizens Preserving. What is
Preservation, restoration.
Restoration, that's right, or revitalization. Yeah, they give out grants and things for, like smaller grants for residential,
like
mostly,
facade improvements, things like that.
So they're a great organization in town that focuses on preservation, which is cool.
And that, in my mind, that's cool for two reasons. For number one, like that's an honor. Like you guys are doing good work and they recognize that. That's really cool. So congrats. The second thing is like, that showcases a piece of the puzzle that can happen in Butte. It shows the possibilities and in real time, but it shows what I think is like kind of your motivation behind everything you got going on is like one by one, step by step, building by building, floor by floor, nail by nail, right?
Yeah.
But like transforming something into something special. And I think that something like the Dust to Dazzle tour can really like show the general population that things like this and the work that you guys do like happen here and they can happen more here. And that's pretty cool.
Well, and I think kind of pushing that narrative, not that there's nothing wrong with residential and rehabbing, and that's important too, but to take on a larger scale of something, I think is important. And it doesn't have to be super fancy or super whatever. And for me, with these buildings, you kind of listen to them and they tell you what they want to be done with them if you're doing it right. And so
Wrong pipe. Sorry, Ben.
we've reused a lot of the building materials that we demoed out of the building. We've been able to reuse those in the building again. And yeah, I just think that it gives people a vision of what's possible and hopefully is inspirational to them, maybe aspirational. You know, maybe someone from out of town is here and that gets them serious about looking, or they have a building and they don't know what to do with it. So maybe they, you know, we can consult with them or do the work or whatever. But I just think it's a nice change of pace from what you normally see on Dust to Dazzle. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and I think being a returning project as well, like Maisie said that, you know, we had our first floors mainly done on it. We had the second or third floor open so you could walk up there and kind of see what it looked like. And if people that have been to the first one that we were on come back to the second one, they're going to be like, holy shit. Like,
Hopefully.
you know, yeah. I'm like, holy shit.
I just wish I was like the millionaire or the Monopoly man or something, because I'm just like, man, that's all I would do.
Yeah.
It would just amplify your efforts.
Right?
Yeah.
Darn money. Why is that always the like barrier? Feels like.
Well, and we knew when we took this project on that we believed in ourselves and what we could do as a company. And we were like, we just need one project to showcase kind of what we can do.
Yeah.
You know? And we truly do believe and feel like this is a project where people can kind of see what we're capable of. you
Yeah.
know? So.
Well, they turned out amazing. You guys should be so proud of
I
yourselves.
know. I want to
John.
see it.
Yeah.
I really want to see it. My degree is in interior design.
Oh, I'd
From
be happy
MSU.
to hear your opinion, because I mean that's
I'm
the thing
just
too about these
super
buildings is they
interested.
are what they are, and so like what you bring to it is a lot of interior design because that's what you're
Right.
working with, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have much choice on the exterior. 'cause
Right,
I'm
right.
not
It's
painting
there.
that baby shit brown.
it'll be baby shit, whatever,
Like,
forever.
It'll be faded out baby shit brown in 10 years is what it's going to be.
To be fair, it's a little more Colonel Mustard, but
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, that's the nice part about like with Maisie being as a designer and stuff, you know, I basically just do what she tells me to do. Like she draws the plans up. I can have a little bit of feedback on some of the stuff. Mainly it's like sizing and things like that. It's not anything crazy. But that's when she gets to the point where she can like pick out things like cabinetry and light fixtures and things like that. But you're working with like this rectilinear space that's already predetermined. You can't change it. But it's like, how are you going to fit the things you want to do inside of that?
Oh, it's a fun puzzle.
it's such a fun puzzle.
Yeah.
And like when I was growing up, I remember being like, I think it was in first grade, we had this playground outside and all the girls were playing house or whatever. And there was a dirt pile that was like up against the fence, and I would take it and like make it into like what looked like a floor plan, like with walls. And so I'd like make the house that like the little girls played in. And I don't know, I've just always been fascinated by floor plans. I know that sounds weird, but I don't
No,
know,
I'm
make
with you.
efficiency. Like I'm a 3 on the Enneagram or whatever. I don't know if people are doing those personality tests anymore, but I'm a Virgo. I'm very like high achieving. So efficiency and all that stuff gets me excited. And I love having like a puzzle. Like here's your constraint. How are you going to make it cool? Like I just find so much more interest in that, and I always have. And there's so much embodied energy in these buildings. I mean, if we want to go on to like the sustainability aspect of everything, like it's inherently green and sustainable to remodel and rehab something. Because I mean, as much materials we've taken out of the building for demo and put back in, like it'd be 10 times that if it was a new build.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, by and large. So I don't know, it just feels good. At the end of the day, that part of it feels really
And
good.
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Like it's extra special. Like
Right.
new stuff is great and serves a purpose and is necessary, but especially in a place like Butte, it feels extra special and extra cool to get to breathe new life into these existing structures that just they're otherwise sitting vacant.
Oh,
I mean,
totally.
we don't need cold creamery storage.
No,
There's
not
no
really.
dairy
Yeah.
farms here. I don't know what we would be doing with
We're
that.
shipping stuff different, right? Like
Yeah,
things
it's
get to
not the
places
same as it
different.
was. So it's just really special.
And I'll still remember on that first tour we did, there was a little older man. He was probably, I don't know, 75, maybe. I don't know. Lived in the neighborhood forever. And he was talking about the building across the street was the which one was that?
New Bro Drug.
New Bro Drug.
Yeah.
And it had this huge sign on top of it.
Oh, that massive triangle?
Yeah, the massive triangle
It was like
sign.
the size of the building.
The building.
Yeah.
And he's like, I remember the day that fell over. And he was telling me all about that. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And he's like, man, I've always wanted to come in this building. And it was hard for him to get up and down the stairs, but he was just like so fascinated because he'd never been inside, lived in Butte his whole life. And so things like that are really cool. And we've had that a lot of times with the pay office because so many people worked for the Anaconda Company that are still around, or their parents or their grandparents or whatever.
Literally
and so
everyone, yeah.
it's just fascinating. People haven't been in that building for 40 years minimum. So that'll be really a fun one to work on as well, because people just are, you're connected to space. You don't always think you are, but you are. And I think those stories and that energy is still there in some capacity. We're just trying to make it new again or bring new life into it. So it is. It's very cool, and it's just a neat way to kind of think about things, I think.
Well, a lot of brick and mortar is not special.
Right.
Like, in and of itself, it's not, but it really anchors like memories and nostalgia and people, the connections in your life. Like, you connect those to things in the world. But in and of themselves, like, building's a building, right? All cities are made of brick and concrete and glass and whatever. But the special ones, like when you have a personal connection to that space, like, and to have it be empty and neglected for as long as something like the Fairmont Creamery, like that has to hurt if you have a personal connection with that building.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see the lights on in the upper stories, and you see people coming and going, you see use, and you see like people cherishing and building their own memories there.
Totally.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
It is.
I actually took a photo of after all of our condos were closed, and like everybody was actually at their unit.
That's cool.
And from the street, I think I went to Metals and got dinner or something that night. And I came home, parked, and looked up there, and basically every light and every window was on in the building.
And even
And it
for
was a
us,
good
that was
feeling.
cool,
That's
you know?
so cool.
Because we've been working on it. It was dark. And I was like, oh my gosh, there are lights on and people are up there.
Yeah.
It was
And
cool.
it's truly a labor of love, you know? I mean, like, and it's weird, like when you do a project like this, you do all the work, you get it done, and then it's like someone adopts your baby, you know?
Yeah.
And you're passing it off and handing it over to somebody else, and just hope they're a good caretaker of it and stuff, you know? And that's with anything that's like something you build, you know what I mean?
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it could be anything. But like if you build it and then you give it to somebody else, it's like you're trusting those people to like be like the steward and the caretaker.
You're
of
putting
it.
your heart and soul into these
Yeah.
things, and
Yeah.
your efforts and blood, probably a lot of blood and sweat, and
Yeah.
you know,
I think I had
visions,
some
ideas,
today.
and it's
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's real personal.
It
I
is.
won a
It is
free
really personal.
sweatshirt from 5518 because I was
true.
wearing my old one and I
Yep.
did it, and it was so fucked.
So
Can I say
bad.
fucked
Oh
up?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was so fucked up from doing all this work that John just like, we're not even taking entries anymore. You just
No,
win.
you won. That was it. That was the beginning and the end of the contest.
Yeah.
Nothing has ever looked like that.
No, oh my God, it was so bad.
I was like, you've been tarred and feathered.
Yeah, I literally like
Literally, I think
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was tarred feather on that thing. And I think we really lucked out with the people that purchased them. They're really excited about it. And I think it takes what I like about it is it's kind of unique. It's cool, but it's not for everybody, which I like. And because it's not for everybody, you end up kind of having cool people that are into it too. And so
Yeah.
we really like all of the people that have purchased them.
That's
and
cool.
I think we would consider them friends. And
Yeah.
there's hopefully there might even be opportunity to work with them in the future. So that's been really cool too.
Yeah.
And seeing them, they're all from somewhere else, local, like to Montana, but they're just excited about Butte too. And so that gets you like excited about Butte even more than we
And
already are.
you can foster that like love that you felt at
Yeah.
one point,
Yeah.
and see that happen in another person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of a Butte thing too. You know, it's not for everybody. And so the spaces we're creating here aren't for everybody. But I think it's just the special people, you know, that wind up here and find these cool things that like you guys are creating. They're super into it and they want to really take care of it, you
Right.
know, because they see the work you've put into it and the work people are putting into the community and can see the history. And I do feel like it's those kind of people that are drawn here, which is just extra neat.
Right. I totally agree. I totally agree with that statement.
You know, go ahead, John.
No, you're the guest here.
Okay.
Please
No,
continue, Mike.
What I was going to say is real quickly is from the time that we started coming here and spending time here to present time, it's amazing to see the amount of people that are actually putting time, effort, and money into their buildings all over town.
That's true.
Like it's been like a snowball
noticeable.
effect.
It is.
Where like,
It's an
10
energy.
years ago, you just saw all these like rundown places and then people like slumlordy type things where they just kind of kept on keeping on, where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And now people are actually putting cash money into their projects and making where they're at better. And like, it's a really great thing to see.
And beautiful and cared for, and if you care, like kind of what we said earlier, you care for one little thing, and then you care for the second little thing, and the third, and then bit by bit, everything gets better.
And when lots of people are doing it at the same time, it feels bigger than it is, than just you. Like you can kind of see it happening too. And Butte's cool. It's like a cool snapshot in time of like its heyday, which is good and bad probably, but in terms of building stock, like it's really cool. There's just a lot of really cool things.
Oh, yeah.
that
There's
you
no
don't
other
see.
city in Montana that's got properties like Butte does. I
No.
mean, it's just.
I'm not convinced that there's nothing like that, like Butte anywhere in the country,
Not really.
No.
like off the top of my
Not
head.
this sort of
No.
compressed
it's
sort of footprint.
When you
Yeah.
when you couple it with like the view of the Highlands from uptown, like it's like you're in San Francisco, but like you have this amazing outdoor
But on a
right next to-
mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're not surrounded. Well, I mean, that has, San Francisco had its own charms, but that
Right.
was my first impression just when you walk around the neighborhoods with the elevated yards and the steep hills. But then I'm like at Headframe Spirits on the street on Main, and I'm looking out and the Highlands are snow covered. Like, get out of here. It's
Yeah.
just, it gets right here.
yeah, right,
It
yeah,
hits you.
right in the
It's
fields.
dead. You're
does.
like, damn it.
Yeah.
This place.
Kind of freaking like it here.
I friggin' like it here.
Yeah.
Have you guys listened to Amy Poehler's podcast yet?
I've only seen snippets on
Good
TikTok,
hang.
but she's freaking funny.
Okay, so here's the premise. She has guests on it, but then prior to her guests, she reaches out to a friend or a family member of that guest.
Oh, hilarious.
So I pulled a little bit of an idea from Amy Poehler.
Whoa. This
Yeah.
is a new segment.
This is a new
Wait,
segment.
wait. I have no idea, but this is brand new.
I'm
John.
dropping bombs right now. And
Never
Ben-
before done podcast.
let's
segment.
cue Ben up on
Love
something
it.
fun right now. Done.
Done.
So this past week, I emailed Amanda Kessel.
Oh,
Yes,
interesting.
and I said I'm going to be talking to your two, and so she's like, this is a friend from back in the day. She lives in
Yeah, we've known
Billings now.
Amanda and her husband
Chris.
Chris. My grandparents' house in Glasgow, Chris's family was like 3 doors down from my grandparents' house.
And next door to my
And
grandparents.
when I was a kid,
Weird.
when we moved to Nashua,
When you started on the High
my
Line.
mom worked at the Nashua bar, and like Chris's family owned the Nashua bar. So I've known these people my entire life.
Yeah,
So-
and they're great.
Yeah, and
So-
Amanda's family lived in Butte. And yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Perfect. So I reached
Classic
out to her
content.
and
Oh,
I said,
geez.
you guys are going to be on the podcast. You know them more and differently than I do. What should I ask them? So she
she's a
emailed me
wild
back
card.
yesterday.
Oh no.
It's nothing like X-rated or anything. But
well, that's sort of surprising.
Wah, wah. No, so this is what she said. She said, you have campers spread throughout the land.
Oh,
Which one would you restore for yourself and why? Which one would you restore for the primo spot in the RV park? And lastly, most importantly, what is your ultimate towing vehicle?
well, that's like a whole discussion we haven't had yet. We have a lot
so
of
I
old
know
campers.
you've got that silver bullet
That's cool.
camper.
We have
Oh.
what, 7? How many campers do we have?
Yeah. So I've always been fascinated by old travel trailers. My grandparents had Airstreams when I was a kid growing up, and I just loved them. And when we got married, I had an opportunity. A guy out of Belgrade was selling some campers. And tragically, I found out that this poor guy, the reason why he was selling these campers, he had become sick and he had cancer. And I went over with my buddy Lori, Walter. Shout out to Lori.
Yellow.
This is from Laurel.
Yeah. I conned Lori into kind of like investing with me and taking me around to these things. So Lori and I drive over there, and the first camper we looked at was a 47 Spartan Manor. It's like a 23-foot camper. And it's pretty rough shape, but I mean, it's a pretty cool camper. and I come prepared to like just buy a camper. And the guy that was selling me was like, "Oh, it's back there by the other campers." And I'm like, "Other campers?" So I go drive back there with Lori, and then he proceeded to see he had 2 other Spartans, and then a Schult, which was like Schult actually is a company that's in business today. Like they make modular housing and stuff. And I was like, well, "How much are those for sale for?" He goes, "If you buy all 4 of them, I'll give them to you for this." So then I had a little meeting of the minds with Lori. I was like, "Lori, help me."
I knew nothing about
She knew
this.
nothing
by the
about
way.
this.
Oh.
So I'm just like, Lori and I was like, this is, pretty quickly before Macy and I were actually getting married. And I was like, "Help me figure this out." She's like, "Okay, I'll help you figure this out." So I ended up buying all 4 of these campers from this guy. And 2 of them are still parked at a storage facility in Bozeman.
No, Belgrade, but yeah.
Belgrade, sorry. And then the Schult, we actually finally got hauled over to storage here in Butte.
And the other Spartan.
Yeah, and the other Spartan's there as well. But
That's 4.
So there's 4.
That's 4
but,
campers.
But then in the interim, I became quickly known as like old camper guy. So my uncle sends me a Facebook Marketplace thing
Exactly.
from Helena, and this guy's selling like a 66 Shasta, 14-footer with original wings and everything for like literally $400. So I'm
Bought
like,
that one. My
so-
mom, that's for my mom. We haven't
Yeah.
done anything with it.
so we're
yet,
gonna
but
like fix that up for Macy's mom, Vicky. Hi, Vicky. And then
planning on listening.
John McKee lets us know that
No, Courtney did.
Courtney did. Yeah, Courtney did. A
She
friend
let
of
me
theirs,
know.
yeah, had a 68 Airstream that they were selling.
So here's the story. Courtney texts me and she's like, "Hey, I know you guys like campers. What do you feel about Airstreams?" I'm like, "Okay, what about it?" She's like, "My neighbors, I think she got divorced, trying to get rid of this Airstream because they want a different camper." I was like, "Okay, cool. What's the deal?" So I think she looped me in on a text with this gal, and so her and I start texting. I was like, "Well, what is it?" She tells me what it is, 68 Airstream, however many feet. I was like, "Well, what do you want for it?" And she's like, $500. And I was like, $500?
Yeah,
And
and
she's
when Macy
like,
told me that, I was like,
and so I
"Did you
text
say
Mike and I was
5,000
like,
or 500?"
I was like, this gal just told me she'd sell me this for $500. So long and short of it, grab $500 bills, jetted over here, didn't really even care, didn't see it, nothing. Get there, it had been their daughter's playhouse. So we bought that. And that's the one that we've worked on the most. That's probably like, I think because I have Airstreams with my grandparents too. So that one was kind of the one that we were most excited about camping in.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to tow. So we've spent a lot of time in that camper. It's not quite done yet, but we've camped in it. We've lived out of it.
Yeah.
That's probably the one we're most excited about finishing.
And then we'd also bought, there's another 68 Airstream some kid in Bozeman sold, and I literally went over, looked at it, gave him the money for it. That was a pretty decent deal too. And just assumed his storage fees. And it's still at the same storage facility.
Hasn't moved an inch.
Yeah, it hasn't moved since we bought it.
This is over there still.
But we do, among all of our other plans, we do have plans. We would love to have like a plot of land somewhere where we could have all these campers set up, fix them up as like cabins, and maybe have like a central,
I don't be
like
giving
a
away all your
barn or something
ideas
like
now.
that.
Yeah, our bigger, I mean, to the point of like working for ourselves, we'd also like to have, maybe naively have more of like a hospitality type business future, which is part of the pay office, and then potentially these campers. And I think the one I'm most excited about besides the Airstream is probably the Schult, just because it's pretty rare and it's the oldest camper we have. And it's just kind of cool. It's got this cool green patinaed paint, and I don't know. It's just neat. It's this neat nostalgia. So that would probably be the one I'm most excited about restoring for our potential
Yeah.
glamping, RV, whatever you want to call it.
My ultimate tow vehicle will always be my 2005 Ford Excursion, Big Bertha, that I sold because she had 347,000 miles on her.
Oh my God.
And she was getting tired. And then you could just see the writing on the wall with vehicles. Sometimes you're like, if I don't sell her, it's going to be like $10,000 of shit you got to put into it.
I feel like we found a good home for her, though.
Yeah. Yeah. We found somebody that was like truly excited to buy it. But I'm constantly on the lookout for more Ford Excursions on Facebook Marketplace. Much to Macy's chagrin.
That's all right. I mean, she's a good card.
Well,
She has
that
a lot of good
concludes
memories.
our bit called Asking for a Friend.
Yeah.
Well, how's that?
Wait, I learned something this week. But a former guest from season 2 just painted a mural.
Oh, there is a
yes,
cross. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Justin.
Yeah, Justin.
Just painted the Fairmont Creamery.
Good remembering, Kate.
Good
I just-
remembering.
Yeah.
He just finished up, what was it, Monday?
I believe so.
Yeah, so we've got this big white wall in the lobby of the building, and I wanted something there. I wanted some kind of art in there. I had lots of different ideas about the art in there, but ultimately, like, this seemed like the best spot. And we thought about just like doing like a vinyl graphic, but the wall's kind of rough and probably isn't suitable for that. And so Justin has had his art on display. We've talked a lot about it, become friends with him, and I told Mike one day, I was like, well, why don't we just check with Justin and see if he'd want to do this mural? So we had the old Fairmont Creamery logo. It's got some text and then an actual like logo. And so he recreated that and then kind of put his current artist's spin on it. So we're pretty excited to have that shown on the tour as well. So
Yeah.
it's a cool way to involve our friends. That's the cool thing. And I told that to Justin the other day. I was like, we're just happy that we've got friends with cool talents that can be a part of our shenanigans as well. It just makes it that much cooler and special.
Yeah.
And like we wanted kind of something unique for all the units for like their door numbers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we had BT Livermore
Oh, yeah.
painted just their like rectangular brass plates, and they hand painted each unit number on the brass plates, clear coated it so it won't scratch off or anything like that. It was fairly reasonable, and like each one of the doors has got these nice little brass hand painted plates.
Oh, that's cool.
Looks great too. So
Yeah.
we're big believers in like if I've always been a person like I know my wheelhouse. Like I know I can do this or that. And
Yeah.
like if I can't do that, it's great when you know somebody that can.
Yeah.
And to be able to support those people as well.
Well, and it just goes to show there's like plenty of people that we can utilize in our community that have those skills and want to lend them to these cool projects, and like to know that like those numbers are, Butte made and the mural is like a Butte original painted that. Like that's
he's a
some
Butte
extra, some extra cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's what makes it just that much more fun.
And that harkens back to like the personal connection and benefiting the community, and everything that you guys do is for the greater good.
Yeah.
It's just like, good on you two.
Well, because, being an outsider in a sense, even though we're from Montana, like we're not from Butte. And so you kind of have to find your end road in. And I think that being here and putting our money where our mouth is and just being visible in the community is what people respond to, and they start to warm up to that. And then it's kind of the floodgates are open, and then you're like, what else can we do that's cool?
Yeah. That's awesome.
So that building is 115-ish years old. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
112 or something like that.
The creamery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 1912-ish, 1910-ish, yeah.
So when you think into the future, if we space travel into the future, and like another 115 or so years into the future from now, people looking back and looking at your particular building, knowing that it burnt down and was empty forever and was neglected, and what do you think they're going to say about all of the stuff that's happening currently right now? Things like your work, things like Justin and BT's work, things like the lights turning on the upper floors that haven't been on in probably 30 or 40 years. What do you think future Butians are going to look back at this time period and the work that you guys are doing every day? What do you think they're going to say?
Well, I hope that neighborhood that our building is in is totally full. Like there's a few businesses, but by and large, the buildings are vacant. The majority of each building, even if they have a business on the first floor. And so I don't know. I think I don't know if pioneer is the right word, pioneer of these times. Like I want to be part of this next wave of whatever it is that we're experiencing. And that, I don't know, that it's still there. I'm sure it'll be still there, which is another cool thing about the construction that it is it's meant to last. And I just hope that people are building things to last. And I don't know, just thinking it's just a simple box, but has a lot of stories to tell. And I don't know.
Well, I hope when people look back, like if it's in the future like that, where they would look at this time in Butte and consider like a tipping point, where it was like transformational, like where people really like, Butte's gone through its ups and downs over the years. And hopefully this is a point in time where like, this is like the needle is ticking back up again, and people are doing things and like recognizing the value of this area and what kind of a special place it is.
Yeah, and put stuff back into it rather than continually taking stuff out of it. It's time to put things back into Butte.
That's a good call.
So much has been taken from it. So, yeah, I hope it's just one step in a bigger step, or a puzzle piece, or whatever you want to call it, whatever cliche you want to put on there.
Well, I know for a fact that like if you guys don't do your things, that's already not happening. So, because apparently I feel like I represent the entire community. Thank
John
you guys.
Wick, man of the people.
That's right. Yeah. It's my new badge, my Marshal of Butte. No, like thank you guys. It's awesome. You guys are doing a lot of work. It's incredible. You're bringing life back to things that aren't necessarily alive yet, and that's special. And like you're doing it well, and you're doing it for the right reasons. Like we're just like, we need more of you two, and more of your HGTV shows behind the scenes
Theories.
So
Well, and people need to live here, right? And that's an important step. And that's something I've learned in other communities I've lived, is if people aren't living there, if they're not there 24/7, essentially, like nothing else does as well as it could. And so hopefully creating more places for people to live and be helps out retail, helps out restaurants, just helps out the economy in general, because there's people there and it feels lively and all that. So I feel like it's a really good step that a lot of that type of work is happening in Butte right now.
we're getting there. It's not easy.
Yeah, we're not the only ones, that's for sure. But
That's true. It does take a village. Yeah. Well, thanks for sitting down with us, you guys. This is a
Yeah,
fun
thanks for
story.
having us.
It's a really good story. So I'm glad we can share it.
Me too. Thanks for asking.
You guys are the best.
Of all the places.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And thank you to our guests, the Razzle Dazzle dynamic duo, the Sonny and Cher of the restoration and design world, Mike Handley and Maisie Sulser of RESTOR Design Build. If you're a fan of the show, please don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button on your favorite podcast app, over on our YouTube channel, and be sure to check out Of All the Places podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Of All the Places is produced by Morris Mountain Productions in partnership with 5518 Designs. Our theme song is made specifically for the show by everybody's favorite power dynamic disco duo, Desperate Electric. For Katie and Ben, this is John. Thanks so much for listening to Season 2 bonus episode number 2 of All the Places podcast.